still connected, so my paper's still connected. So I've created 4 flaps there. All right, as we look at our organization, we're going to start off here with our smallest level of organization. If I have one thing that is biotic, that one thing that is biotic, I'm going to call it an organism. So if I've just got one biotic thing, that's an organism. We're going to put that on our first flap. Now, if I put a bunch of organisms together, that's going to be called a population. And if I put a bunch of populations together, that's going to make up a community. Okay, so one biotic thing is an organism. Several of that same biotic thing makes a population of that organism. And if I put a bunch of different populations together, I'm going to create a community. Now, if I add in the other things that make up, so all my abiotic, air and water and land, now I'm going to get an ecosystem. And you guys saw those in your words as you were working on your words last night. All right, so what we want to do here now is we want to open this up and we want to put our definitions in there. So for an organism, let's look at an organism. So an organism is one individual of a species. Okay? So, one individual of a species, that's an organism. All right, well, let's look at a population. A population is multiple organisms. Of the same species. Okay? So population, multiple organisms of the same species. All right? Community. Now we're looking at multiple species. Multiple species. Okay? And then the last one, ecosystem, now we're looking at multiple species plus their habitat. Okay, so if I'm talking about one organism, if I'm talking about one individual of a species, is that biotic or abiotic? Well, a species, that'd be living, so that's going to be only biotic. Okay? Well, multiple organisms, once again, here we're still looking at biotic. We're only looking at living things. Now we've got more of them, but we're looking still at just living things. Okay, organisms of multiple species. Once again, we've got multiple living things, but once again, only biotic. So when we get up to a community, we're still just talking about the biotic things. It's not until we add in their habitat at ecosystem that we finally get to both biotic and abiotic. Okay, so we've got the living things, And we've got the non-living. All right. So we're doing great with the definitions here. We're doing wonderful with looking at these definitions. What we want to do now is we want to start to look at, okay, well, how do I draw these organisms? Okay, so what we want to do here now is we want to make our picture here. Okay, so I need to draw an organism. And it can be any organism you want. So you need to draw something that's living. Cat, dog, bird, tree. Anything you want to draw, you can draw that. So I'm just going to draw a pretty easy stick figure animal. I'm going to go with a pig. And I'm going to do that just because I like to draw the curly tail. So when I think of an organism, I'm going to think of one living thing. Okay? Well, now if I need a population, well, now I need multiple organisms of the same species. Well, so now I need to draw multiple pigs. So notice here, they're the same species. So whatever you drew, you need to draw multiple of that same species. Okay? So multiple pigs. All right. Well, now I need a community. So I need some other things that might be around with that organism. So I need to draw my living thing, but I need to add some other living things. So I'm going to put my pigs here, like I had for a population. But if I'm going to make that a community, I need to add something else. Well, I've got my pig. Let's put some grass. So put some living things in there with it. Or maybe a tree. Okay, maybe you want some flowers. Let's do that. Let's put a flower with my pig. Okay, so I've got my pigs here, which were my population. But to make it a community, I've got to add other things to that. I've got to add organisms of a different species. So, let me put some butterflies here. So we can see here now that when I'm looking at going up in this organization, I started out with one organism. Now I've got multiple organisms. And then now I've got multiple species. So I can see here now, I not only have my pigs that made up my population, but now I'm adding in another organism, grass and flowers, and I'm adding in another organism, butterflies. Well, now, if I want to move all the way up to an ecosystem, well, now I've got to add in the abiotic. So as I look at this, well, now I might add in some land so that my grass is growing on the land. And I might add in some water. Okay? And I could have some organisms down here in the water. And I've got my pigs. And they're super happy here. Okay? And I've got my butterflies. And let's see, what abiotic factor could I have with my butterflies? Well, maybe for my butterflies, maybe I should put in the sun. And maybe for my butterflies, I should put in some clouds. So we see here how my simple pig became multiple pigs, population, became multiple species, community, became multiple populations plus abiotic factors. So now I'm at ecosystem, okay? And you can keep adding more and more to your picture, those of you guys who enjoy drawing all of this stuff. So thanks a lot, guys.